call the Pownal Select Board to order on Thursday, December 8th at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. for agenda approval, minutes, warrants, mail, old business. We got town outstanding item list to be discussed. We'll try to get moving on that stuff. New business, we got first budget work session, and we'll have transfer station scheduled. That's scheduled for 12:15. That's next
Right,
week,
that's-
right? You moved that ahead. All right. So in personnel, we got something in personnel also. So I get a
I
motion.
move to approve it.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes for 12/1/16.
Move to approve.
Get a second?
Abstain.
Oh, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Warrants. I got payroll for 12/4/16. That was $6,782.52. Accounts payable was $11,154.31. And Stantec was one of the larger ones, $3,731. And the other large one, of course, is IRS, $2,157. And A1 septic service for Holland Sludge was $1,240. I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now, mail. We got an application here for fire cost reimbursement, which we have to sign. That's for, we had a wildfire this summer, I guess,
June.
in June.
June.
And our departments went out, and this is, we will probably get, well, about half of what it costs back. We fill
I
this
move
out,
that a
so.
chair signs it.
Okay.
I'll second.
I think everybody has to sign
It's
this.
got the lines here for everybody.
Everybody has to sign.
Everybody's got a line here.
Nice try.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Okay. So there. Well, I'll read that other thing while you're doing that. And we got Vermont Agency of Transportation, Department of Motor Vehicles Uniform Municipal Excess Weight Permit. I have to assume this is for that
Solar field.
solar field trailer truck, 53 footer, and to go over our roads and our bridges, whatever.
I move that the chair signs it once the road foreman has.
Road foreman has to sign it.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to approve it and put in conditions.
Yeah, so that's what, yeah, the conditions are all on it.
Oh, are
It
they?
says
Okay.
here approved for the following highways. It's used during mud season. Does say that it requires the road foreman's approval, which I think he'll probably approve it.
Yeah.
But we did have trouble with these, with this outfit already. We had to threaten them. I didn't think that was very good, but
No.
anyway, that's what
Not
we
good
got.
business.
No.
It's not good
That
business.
was actually disappointing. I was disappointed more than anything else. I didn't think that would even be brought up. I mean, that's not an issue for that kind of a project,
No.
to hassle us.
I'd like to make a recommendation that if that happens again, that we are somewhat rehearsed on what to do.
Yeah.
I know Joel being new, this is his first time dealing with a situation like that, but I'd like to be a little more prepared next time, that when that does occur, that we can act on it swiftly
Yeah,
and not
yeah,
have to
yeah.
have it go on for such a long period of time.
Well, he called for reference, and of course, the vice chair sent him to me, and he called me. I was on my way to New York State. It doesn't matter, but I told him, I said, look, get state police down there. It's our highway.
Yep. I told him to get the
Tell them where the
sheriff.
law lies.
Right.
And
I told him to get the sheriff. We had a contract.
Our road boss was, well, I said, look, he wasn't moving. That's why I told him to get state police. He was supposed to show up and he didn't. Now, and I said, well, get the state police and, you know, we cite them. You cite them people one time. They learn a big lesson, that, you know?
Yep.
And Joel was gonna go over and clean it up if they hadn't, but they did by the time he got there in the morning, because he was gonna take the backhoe from the other place and
Sweet.
go down and clean the road off, because it was a hazard, safety hazard. All right, well, we beat that to death enough, I guess, but I'll sign it after Joel okays it. So, now, old business, we got town outstanding.
Did we vote on that?
Do we have to vote on this?
We
I made
do.
a motion.
Oh, there was a
Got a call.
motion. You made it, did you?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know who seconded it though.
So
I thought Sue did.
I did.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I already agreed to sign it after the road boss looks at it.
I don't think we need to read that list. We just wanted to talk.
I want it switched around,
Okay.
just for
You're the
kicks.
chairman.
Well, just for kicks. Don't give me that, because I don't need to hear it. But road reclassification, I think we ought to move that down some, because that's springtime. We've already talked about that. So, in town.
You wanna
hall-
make that 10, is that what you're saying, Ron?
To be aware that these things were not put in a numbered order of priority, I figured we, as a board, would talk about what the priority would be.
Well, that's what we're doing right now. I'm saying we move it down. I'm thinking that, this is only my
Why don't you
opinion.
just read?
Why don't you let
what
me
the
read them,
list
and then
is?
I'll turn around, and then
Yeah.
I'll say, well, where do you want to start? Now, road reclassification, I already gave my opinion. And on the town hall, they're not ready yet. They have to have a meeting and inform us.
I
On
think
that
they're
other
coming on
thing.
the 29th.
Okay, so that there, we're gonna skip over that for now, so that people understand where we're at here. Town administrator, I didn't get a chance to call Shasberry today, but I'll call him tomorrow and see if I can get that fella down here. So you people have your questions ready. You know, I mean, I don't want him coming down here. I'm gonna ask him how much money he gets. I guess that's public record. And what the duties are and things like that. That's what I'm gonna ask him. But if you've got any questions to ask him, and I'll try to get him down here as soon as I can,
Can you,
whichever
can you ask them to have get the job description?
job description and how much what his contract is.
Sounds good.
That's what I'm gonna ask him. They told me I wouldn't go to jail for that, so I'm gonna ask him that. Now,
No rest for the wicked, you're not
That's
going to
it.
jail.
now, town policy updates. I don't really see much that needs to be updated, but because other than the insurance thing needed to be updated.
Yeah, there was some
So
things
if
that
you-
Linda pointed out that we need to
All
look
right,
at.
well, that's good. So we can move that one up. We can talk about that. Forest management. That goes along with this town land access, as far as I'm concerned. This is my opinion, folks. You think about it and set it where you want it. But I'm thinking, look, we got 750 or 780 acres down there. It's about time we made a move one way or the other. I mean, we can get, our forester has went through a lot of these maps and a lot of these right-of-ways and all that stuff. He does it for doing this, because he does these properties for everybody. Maybe we could ask him for some advice, and I think we ought to either do something or forget about it. We either get him to research it maybe a little for us, and if we're gonna do anything, apparently we're gonna have to have some legal piece or something. So that's up to you folks, whatever you wanna do. But I mean, as far as saying it's being held up, well, it's been held up for that reason. Do we have right-of-ways, or don't we, or whatever? I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney. Now, finish office cleanup. I read these already anyway, but as far as I was under the understanding that our guy that hired the contractor, Tom Shuey there, said the paint, that was about all he could do for this year. It would be a waste of time to do any more paint. and it is, I guess there is a coat of paint on it. The rug, we decided that we were cleaning it, and we did, and it came out pretty good. So I'm thinking that one there, we can cross it off. But, I mean, you
I
guys
was
can
gonna
decide.
ask what else did you wanna?
Well, it's got a Setra
Yes.
there, but I don't know what it
The
is.
only other thing I noticed was maybe putting some tiles down in the bathroom, having that floor done. I noticed there's a box of tiles in there right now.
Jim Gilbert's gonna try to do it when he can. He located the tiles. They
Yeah,
were.
he said there
above
was tiles,
stored.
they were
He found
upstairs,
them.
I guess,
He found them.
which would be good. 'cause
He spoke to me about it, and he said he needs to get a tile cutter,
Okay,
and he was kinda a little bit busy at the moment, but he did find them, and.
okay. And I
and
didn't
get some
notice,
Cement.
I didn't notice tonight if is the building numbered now in the sign, town office and the
I
building
don't know
number?
if the number's on there, but Tom is coming back after he gets back from Pennsylvania. He has a couple of little things to do. Put
Okay.
the mailbox on, and he's putting in the drop box over here on the door for me.
Okay, terrific.
Yes,
The other signs were put on the building, and there's 2 more signs on order for ice.
Good.
yes, but those are good to, now we know some of the things that have to be
Right.
done, so that's good.
If
I mean,
Ronnie,
there's nothing major big. Wouldn't expect the board to be investing any more money in the building, would you?
No, we just wanna make sure the work gets done, so, and if we know about it, we don't.
Downstairs.
Well, the
is
downstairs
done.
supposedly is done, as far as the
Bedding and all
dehumidifier
that.
and the louvers and things like that, to keep the air moving so it stays dry.
Is better in here, don't you think, Linda? Somewhat.
None of that down there even turns on yet, because we don't need it for this time of year.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, overall, coming in the morning with these and
Yeah,
and everything seems a little
Yeah, I
better,
don't
not
think it
so
doesn't smell as moldy.
moldy with the rugs cleaned.
But
and
there are,
everything.
I noticed the drawer in my desk, when I pulled out my drawer, because paper fell down, the green rug is still under my desk. And as soon as we pulled the drawer out, the mold just came right out, and it was from installing on top of the old, the previous original rug. That desk was installed right on top of it. Because we had the rugs
they
were
didn't
put
move
in
it?
afterwards, so they cut around my desk. So there's a big, huge source of mold. When the detector was at my desk, that's really what it was detecting.
So,
So there,
we
and
need
the
to
other
take care of
thing
that.
that, well, I would make a recommendation until we, get into another building, there really should be some type of, dehumidifier put in the safe, because a lot of the mold is coming out of the safe, and that's where your most valuable records are stored.
Good, that's a good thing to know.
so who could we ask to go out and purchase that and install, put it in there?
You would want Stan to come down and install something that would be appropriate for that space.
Okay,
who's Stan?
Kelson.
Stan Kelson, electrician.
okay.
I mean, that's the only thing I can really think of that,
Gotta have it
in the
drained.
interim, until we get someplace else, whatever year that is, to protect those books.
So I think, we ought to get a hold of Tom, tell him get them numbers on there, or get somebody to put them on there, or whatever.
Tom will do it.
And get a hold of, Stan Kelson, and see what we gotta do for some electric for a dehumidifier. We just gotta buy a dehumidifier, that's not a big deal.
No, it just
And,
needs to.
and kinda lean on Jim a little bit and tell him when he gets some time, get them tiles in. Get them moving,
Sounds
all
good.
right? Everybody in agreement with that?
Yep,
All right, grant writing objectives for planning and road and et cetera. What do you wanna do there?
I'm gonna recommend that Joel and I work together and, do the one for B50, B32, since the designs are all written.
yep, good.
You know, they're
Okay.
prepared. And class 2 paving, whatever Joel, recommends and the board determines, and what money gets budgeted.
So would that be 2 separate grants, Linda, or one?
Yes, they're two
Yes, that's
separate.
a couple.
Those get done in March.
So I put a little
I mean, if
notation
there's
there.
any
That's-
other
That's March.
ones.
The only other one we were talked about was the energy improvements, energy efficiency improvements for the highway garage. That was, I believe that was under a grant.
Well,
Or
they
no, it
talked
wasn't.
about a grant, but Joel researced that some.
You're right, and he did.
And he said that, and I dropped the ball on that. I was supposed to stop at Granite City and price them. Because you can get something from Efficiency Vermont, never mind the grant.
That's right.
If you buy the proper lights. He gave me the information, but I dropped the ball on that. I've been sleeping for the last couple of weeks, I guess. So, but anyway, I'll get after that and see if we can, because according to him, he'd already researched it, we'd be better off
You're right.
going that direction. So if that's the case, that's the way I want to go. Everybody like that idea?
Yes.
All right. How about the bricks?
We're waiting
Let's throw
on,
that in Sue's lap.
I'm throwing it in my lap. It's the same thing as I reported the last time, Ruth Batza was down. The park is still all torn up down there and all the rocks are everything away. And they said they would put everything back together, dig a hole for us, and then was checking into getting somebody to put them in the spring. But we just
Spring.
wanna,
Spring.
yeah.
So that's
I
another,
believe the
that's a
spring.
spring thing.
We just
again.
wanted to keep
Okay.
this on the list as a status
All right.
update.
So when
the springs come, we can-
So these things don't fall by the wayside, that's all.
No, well, they didn't fall by the wayside. These things have been spoke about and worked on. I mean, but I'm thinking the most important things, as far as my personal issues are, is we're supposedly have 30 or 35 acres of land over there for material in that land, gravel or whatever's there. But we got to find out how we're going to get in there, what we're going to do, because that's an asset. We don't have much over here anymore. That's just, and I mean, as far as, I think we should be pushing that stuff. And as far as the forest management, well, unless when Bruce was here, he did say that there was it was kind of premature or whatever, and but there was some, but nowhere near what he expected. That's what he said. Now, so, but we can, I guess we can ask him again later what, because I don't know. I don't think he looked at all of it.
No.
I don't think he looked at the Swallow Hill up in there. I don't think he looked at the.
Well, we asked him
Other
to that
property.
night.
Yeah, he
well, I
said,
don't-
and he said he was going to move on that, I thought.
Yeah,
And he was gonna look up, talk with the people there about the right of ways and, or if it was possible to
Do some
do
swap.
some
Swap
swapping
around.
and so on.
Well, and one of the other things is that Ronnie talked about, if we need to do some legal, let's do it. And especially if we're gonna get money off of this property by selling logs off, we should really look at what it means to get a permanent right of way, permanent access, and it costs us a little money, we're making a little money off the property. Let's put it to good use so we can continue to do it.
That's right, and if there is a vein of material that we could use out of there, it'd be nice to have it.
That's right.
But, I mean, that's.
So what do you think what should be our next step there? Do we
My
hire?
thoughts is, I think we should have, the lister told me, look, there ain't anybody more familiar with them deeds in there than our forester. With these right-of-ways and stuff. So we ought to ask him if he would look for us, help us.
Yep.
And if we need an attorney to do something farther on, then we'll do that.
I think
That's my thought.
that's a first step.
And-
That's a good way to go.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think the issue there is that we may have to sit down with him and try to come up with a monetary, a way to reimburse him for that, because I think he's explained to us already that the amount of time he's spending there, I mean, there's a long term for him, there's a long time it takes for him to recoup any of the money that he puts into it.
That's right.
Right,
That's
so
pretty
we haven't
much
done
what,
harvest.
Right, but I'm
maybe
saying-
I didn't convey that, but that's, I
Right.
always think, I don't mind paying the guy.
Right, no.
But I think he'll be cheaper than hiring a lawyer that isn't familiar with this
Yes,
stuff.
I agree.
To start
That's
with.
right.
But I-
Let's start doing title
But I,
searches.
but I think we need to explain to him that in this situation, we wanna talk about possibly mining in there or removing some gravel, not
Not just
logging
cutting
it.
trees.
Right, right.
Not just
Yeah.
cutting trees.
So I think that's important, we relay that information to him.
Yeah, that's a good
And I
idea.
think one of us should take, maybe one of us should take that time and call him and explain that to him. This is what we want to do down there. This is what we have to have in order to do it. We'll probably have to hire someone to get down there and do some test digs and see what's there for material.
Well, once
Can't
we,
get there without access.
Okay.
once
But I
we
mean-
figure out how we can get there, that's the first
Okay.
thing. I mean, even if we got temporary permission to find out if there was something there, I don't know how we're gonna do it. Like I said, I'm not an
Right.
attorney, but I'm sure we could work out something with somebody.
Yep,
Well,
good.
Yeah,
You know?
I thought that the town at one point had talked with the landowners about either purchase the property or the right, I don't know that much, I wasn't involved, so I don't know.
Years ago,
But I think that we ought to,
we had an option with a 50-foot right-of-way and, what was it, 5 acres of land at the end with Armstrongs, when the Armstrongs owned it, for like $20,000, and we didn't go through with it. We as the town didn't buy it.
who owned it?
It's a new owner now,
New owner.
somebody
New
else.
owners,
But I
okay.
mean, we'd have to start over probably.
Right.
Yep.
But that is the best access point to get in,
Okay.
That's right.
as far as anybody has any familiarity with
Well,
that
what
Do we know
land.
these people at all, or?
Oh, yeah, I spoke to the woman, I haven't spoken to the
Well,
guy.
it's just a guy.
But to me,
She's gone now, right?
Yeah, she's out.
to me, it'd make more sense before we purchase the right of way and the property that we'd want to know what's up there.
Well, that's it, but I presume we could, but you still got 750 acres.
Yeah, well, that's what
of-
I'm saying,
of,
this is
land
whether it's
that you
gravel or
could-
not, I
And
think.
like Nelson said, there is wood up there. There's some, and it's also recreation value. People holler about recreation and trails and things like that. I mean, we'd have to, as far as I'm concerned, we'd have to look at this. And what is it gonna, we have to weigh it out. What's it gonna cost? If it's gonna cost a ton of money, well, apparently.
Then we'll figure it
But
out.
at least we will try to move on it.
Well, the worst, if worst comes to worst, we're gonna have to tell people to take the Conic Trail on the New York side and come down into it. But I think we should have our own interests here in Vermont without having to go across the bridge and go up and over and come down. The real thing is, we know, Ronnie, and you know, gravel's been hauled off of that side. When Armstrong, was it Armstrong? No, it was Jelly that hauled the gravel out of there, and it was a stop was put to it, right on that side where we're talking about where the gravel is.
Well,
And
see,
then,
that was done now, so I can follow that up a little further. What's his name? Peanuts Wilcox. I forget what his first name was, but Wilcox owned that property. He was a farmer.
did he do
And
gravel?
farmers can dig anywhere they want, right, Henry? They don't
Right.
need a permit for nothing.
Yep. Yep, that would-
And he did,
No, you can move,
he
you
opened up,
move
he-
material anywhere on your property.
he opened up a pit there. It wasn't very big because it was only for his own thing. And then
Okay.
Jelly took some stuff out of there.
Yep,
And then Armstrong wanted to, and the town said no.
yeah, they
See,
stopped them because of trucking.
Yeah.
Our bridge wouldn't handle it back then.
So anyway, that's where that did, and there is some there, but I don't know what
don't
it
know
is.
much.
It's just like when you go over to where Barlow was. One side of that divider road is gravel, the other side is sand. You know, it's a totally different
Yep.
thing. But I'm sure that we could. I don't know this fellow that got this property, but a lot of it's in land use already. I mean, I don't know him personally, but I think he probably would work some kind of a deal with the town.
So, I think Harris would too if we had to go in that way, past Johnson and up through.
Yeah, well, there it would take a lot more
But material-
excavation, but they got big machines. It isn't like they can't do it.
Well, there's a whole knob there that could be moved and
That's
used.
right, they could. We just
We
have
use
to
it
put
right there.
you have to put a big culvert in where the brook is there.
So again, do we want to talk to Bruce and see what he can do to help us?
That's right. That's
Yeah, we
right.
need to do the.
Okay.
I think we ought to talk to
deed
Bruce. I don't care who does it.
Okay.
But,
So
and
could we schedule, have Bruce come in and,
I see Bruce quite often, and
Or we could
we've
just have
spoken
Linda
about
run it by him.
a lot of this. I've
or if I knew
spoken
when he
to
was
him.
coming, I'd talk to him. And tell him,
And
look,
Yeah,
he's
same
here
here.
at all
or
different,
Nelson, he's around
Times.
most of the time.
Yeah, I'd talk to him.
um,
Because I did a little search on the deeds on that there, and I know when Sarkis owned it, in the deed, it talks about all the right of way to Tannery land across Sarkis.
Yeah.
So it to Tannery lands, and that's how it said it. And I like Bruce to look at that and see what he thinks of it.
okay, so you'll take care of talking to him?
Yeah, if I see him, I'll talk to
Yeah.
him.
I'm not gonna see him too often because he's been up in Montpelier a lot. His dad has had some issues and he's been going back and forth. So when he's been in here, he's been in for like a day at a time. And it's kind of sporadic
Or
whenever he gets here.
Send me his email or his phone
Mhm.
number.
Sure.
But I think that's the proper thing to do, and I think that should be one of the first things that we operate on.
Yep.
And we
I'll
can
pass
get
them a
that.
message on that you wanna speak to them about the tannery lands.
Yep.
And last but not least, on this paper was the web pages. And,
Amy's scheduled for, the 29th
She's been ill.
to come in and sit down with the board.
okay, good, because, it's,
Could we, I received a message from the committee on the town hall, and they were talking about the 29th too. This web thing could get pretty, a long discussion.
Plus, are we doing budget that time too?
well, I think,
I'm
we
just,
oughta-
I don't know what to
I
do.
want both, I want both things discussed, but I don't want us to be so short for time that we don't discuss either
Right.
one of them long enough.
Right, we gotta spread
but
it.
I
spread 'em
think
out.
as a board, we ought to all look at what Shasberry has, their format.
Yep.
And Arlington also. It's very, and
It's
I
very
mean,
nice, I looked at it the other day.
Dorset has a nice one
it's
too.
very well done. And if, I mean, I'm not saying Amy couldn't do this thing, but that's the format that we should have for being a municipality. That goes right to what you want.
Right?
Yep.
It's, you know, and I'm
agree with
I'm
you.
computer illiterate, but it's a lot easier to find something on that one than what we have. And I mean, she works very reasonable, but I think that we ought to either make this thing usable, because there's stuff that's been on there, it's been done since September. That shouldn't be on there, it should be off of it. I mean, it's been done, it's over with. So, but I mean, I don't think we should have to talk to, well, of course, that's just me talking, but I don't think we should have to talk to her too long as we could get her to understand, or she could maybe she could get us to understand. But we want something kind of simple, and so that it's an easy format for people. Because people don't want to just open it up and find out everything in the town of Pownal. They want to look it up to find out whatever they're looking for. That's, you know, that's what I go on a computer for. I don't go on a computer and put in search and put anything. I don't put that word in there, you know?
And right now, the select board isn't even listed on the website, any of our names or anything, and there's some other things that are missing, so, yeah, general information that needs to be updated.
Okay, so anyway, well, and Nelson's got a good point. I mean, look at, if we could schedule one of them for a different day. I don't know. And I don't know
I don't think you're gonna need
when I
to
can
spend
get
much
that
time
town
with Amy.
administrator,
I really don't.
but whatever day I got it, we gotta have that day open. You know, because
And we're gonna have work sessions with our budgets too, so
Yep.
yeah.
we don't
but-
wanna put too much all on one night.
Well, the question I guess I would ask is, can we wait until January to talk to one of these people? If we're gonna work on budget, and we
I
know
don't
we have
see
to have
why
it
not.
done by
If she just had
January.
surgery and
When's
is
our,
ill anyway.
when's our budget have to be done and ready to go out?
We get an extra week actually this year due to the way the calendar runs for town meeting. I think, yeah, we have it written down.
But I'm just thinking, that we're gonna be working on budget pretty heavy.
30 days.
Well, Sue had a good point. This lady just got out of
Hello, Elizabeth.
having surgery and stuff.
And it's been, the way it's been for a while, what's another
Yeah.
month or whatever?
We came
got
up with
your
this
answer.
list just to
Oh.
spread it out.
Listen.
You know,
Got your answer.
Okay, we need 30 days prior to town meeting is February 5th, so we need to have our budget done and the town warning prepared by February 5th. In recent years, it's been like the last week of January,
Yeah.
but we get an extra week due to the way the town meeting falls this year.
Well,
Okay?
Okay.
it's nice that we got an extra week, but I think we should be pushing.
Right,
Sure.
well, that's why we
Yeah, you
already
guys-
issued our
I know
budget.
last
you
year
guys
we-
need to tell us.
Last year, we had a couple Wednesday night meetings, I
Yep.
think, for budget
That's
work.
right.
Sometimes you have to pull
We
a
can have a
special.
special meeting thrown in here and there if we
Yep.
have to get it.
Right.
Get it out.
We gotta get it done, that's all.
Okay.
Okay, and Amy,
All right, so you
was,
wanted the 29th, or do you want it rescheduled?
Reschedule.
we wanna
Reschedule
put
her.
Amy on a little later. 'Cause she,
Yeah.
first of all, I guess she just got back from having,
Yeah.
Surgery.
out of a hospital or whatever, so, I mean, and we've been, I hate to say it, our webpage has been pretty bad for quite a while, so another couple of weeks ain't gonna hurt nothing. But anyway, I think that'd be better. All right, so.
Is there anything that we've forgotten that we need to add on to this, Linda? How about our sale of our mobile home?
Oh, that's,
We're just waiting for the official water.
No, it's not a mobile
Sampling.
home, it's a site, I'm sorry.
that's a site.
I knew what you meant.
It's a lot.
When the official water sample comes back from the state, we can move forward. The deposit's already been made, that's what we're waiting for.
And that will come to us, or that will come to the,
It's coming here.
directly to us?
Okay,
Uh,
as long as we don't lose our buyer.
Yeah, and I don't know how many people get the report from Vermont to do with the PFOAs here, but Pownal Center now, they've found over 300 parts per trillion on the site out here where the, across from where the old dairy bar used to be.
Oh, we did?
And they're gonna notify a number of people and test a number of wells here in the village now, because it was so high. It was, on their official memo they sent out from the Vermont state. So it's another spot in town where we could have, and we as a board will more than likely at some point be approached, because now there's no fire district here. I know there used to be one in North Pownell, and there's some there. So we need to be ready to see what that means. I have no clue. The last time we came anything like this, it was because of the wastewater problems we had, and we ended up getting a grant for a study, and we might have to be in that part where we have to look about water, just because of what I'm reading and seeing. We should be thinking about it at least, because in case somebody, if we start having a crowd come here questioning us, we need to do something, unfortunately.
A lot of these things, I think.
This
the
well
town
was tested,
administrator
right?
can help
Our
us
well
with.
here?
Our well was tested.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah, and it
school, in that mobile home park, I believe.
Well, Nelson's got a good warning there, but we'll have to deal with it as it comes.
Yep.
That's what we gotta do. There's
I just
no-
wanted to be aware that.
Yeah, that's right, and, I mean, this is it's an awful thing, actually, it's a chemical.
Yep.
It's pretty tough
I
to
think
get
that's
rid
gonna
of.
pop up in a lot of other areas before this is all over with.
Sure it will.
I mean, I don't think it's just gonna,
Oh, I agree.
no,
It
no,
ain't
I
gonna
think.
go
this-
away.
Oh, no, I think this is something that's going to kind of, I guess the words are honest, you know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, as far as I know from watching it and following and working with the state with this, that basically all we have is a temporary remedy. We don't have a permanent fix. So, I mean, that's all that they can offer residents at this
Okay.
point.
And to be fair, they've been coming and putting filters on things when they find problems. So minimal solutions have been done
Right.
to try and solve this problem until they do find a permit. It isn't like they're ignoring us either.
Right.
But that, I asked the fellow about that, because they have that in Hoosick Falls. And I said, what happens when they, because this is on private water, that they put a new water system in, well, of course, it'll take care of most of the town. But I says, well, what happens on the private ones? Well, he says, we'll continue operating them for a while, then you have to buy them, that filter system.
The landowner has to buy their
Yes, they're not gonna, that's what the guy said, no, I don't know.
Yeah, we're not there yet, but we
No,
could be.
they're not there, and they don't know, but also they'll have a better idea, I presume. They'll be discounted, they'll all be secondhand, so they'll need charcoal, and they got, that's what they are, is charcoal filters. And they'll have to be, they're going by, if it's city water, it's easy to tell. When the chlorine don't show up, that means the charcoal is gone.
Oh, interesting.
When chlorine shows up, the charcoal is gone, because it takes out the chlorine and PFOA. But on a private system, all it's doing is taking out the PFOA, so then has to go to a lab anyway, and they're gonna test them so far down the road and see, they got, meters on them. See how many gallons go through before it ain't picking it up anymore on that size filters. But that's all, hasn't been done yet either, but they have no real facts yet. But when they do, they'll surely let us know, and I guess in Bennington, they're talking about running a water line, right, out there in some of them places.
Yeah, I hear it's
So, I mean, it is a huge problem,
30
but,
million. Yeah.
but we'll just have to
Keep them
stay
business.
abreast of it and keep the people informed, and, if we gotta try to get some kind of grants or something, we'll have to try to get them, whatever.
Yep.
Okay, so, our first budget work session, we got personnel, we gotta go into, executive session for that.
All right, our budget session, this is just notification to the board that we're starting at next Thursday. We're starting with the transfer station.
Okay.
Okay, he's gonna be prepared, Tom's gonna be prepared to come in and go over his budget.
Okay.
So they're all aware
Oh, yeah,
that we're
that's-
doing budget. Do they need any help with things
Well, they're gonna
beforehand?
bring in
No,
They're
he
gonna-
brings in his
what they
budget.
want.
Okay.
Could I
All
ask one
boards
thing
do
before
that.
that, for next week? Could you ask him to get an update of the other towns around here, their rates? So we could do a comparison on rates, please? Because I know a couple of the other towns just had rate increases due to their added costs from the state.
You're talking towns similar in size, or?
I think just towns in general, the other transfer stations, and a comparison.
I think the rates go by, well, we don't go by weight because we don't have a scale, we go by cubic
That's right.
yard.
But still, there's a.
But still in all, that's what they're
schedule.
charging, it ain't like, well, you come from a bigger community or a
No,
smaller
I'd just like to
community.
have, I'd just like to have a
Well, we
comparison.
do it per
A
bag.
comparison
I know.
of fee,
Yeah,
call it a
that's
fee
right.
schedule. But I'd like to have a comparison to look at
Yeah.
next week when we do
I
that.
don't know how Shasbury does theirs, that's why I asked comparable
You
towns.
can- You can have options either way, you can do bag or weight.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Well, usually it costs us money anyway, so it'll,
Yeah.
but it would be nice to know if we are getting what we're supposed to be getting,
That's right.
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I think it's one of the things that we need to do, especially now that we're in this swipe or whatever they call it. SWIP, is basically, that is costing us more and more each year too, as we run this transfer station. Public should be made very well clear what that site is costing us and what we're not getting in revenue. Because, in the past, it's been 60,000 or so. This could spiral out of hand for the people that are paying to carry the load per, I don't know how many people use the facility.
That's right.
How many stickers do we sell a year? That might be a good question for Tom to be able to answer.
Yeah.
Because I know just recently we had an
Usually
increase.
it's less than 500, but,
Right.
I mean, because some people, they're fussy on the number they get.
Yeah,
We have,
That's right.
and my number's 399, so I know there's 400.
But I know just recently we had the increase from the state there, that was 16,000, I think, or 17,000.
Yeah, I know, and that's
but
what.
see, it's unfair to everybody, because some people, I mean, it'd be totally unfair if we're gonna spend a ton of money trying to keep this open, when a lot of people, they already send it out in a dumpster.
That's right.
And I mean, it's totally unfair. I mean, as long as it's a functional thing that it's feasible for the town, it's fine. But if it becomes,
that's why
like
I'm
you
looking.
said, spiraling out of hand, which,
Let's have something to compare, that's what I'm asking.
yeah.
And I think when you look at the overall number of permits that are sold, I think you also have to look at the fact that there's a percentage of those that are only used once. And you're paying that $30 fee, and you're getting that one free dump day, and you're making out like a bandit.
But that's well worth it. It's worth
Yes.
more than that $30.
Yes, of course it is.
Yes.
Of course it is.
And that's part of why I think Tom cut it back to one.
Yes,
for
it used to
somebody
be two
run.
loads.
Yeah, it used to be
Yes.
two truck.
Yes.
Yeah, and to be fair, I use the landfill, and, it's probably costing me $6 or $7 a month because of just the two of us. So I'm one of those people that use it where other people are actually supporting me for throwing my trash out
That's right.
there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I understand the pluses of it, but I think we as a board need to understand what it means
That's
to
right.
impact the town.
Well, that also answers questions for the public.
Yeah.
Public saying, well, how come this costs so much, or this or that? Well, there it is.
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll have to have a motion, I guess, to go in
I move we go into executive session for personnel.
the second.
Second.
All in
and-
favor, say
And there'll be
aye.
no decision when we come out, I'm sure. Well, I'm just gonna ask some questions.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right,